What is up, everybody? Welcome to Peaches and Powerbombs. I am Majestic Marie, along with my co-host Alora, and the cat is trying to talk to us, as
Mhm.
always. And we have a very special guest with us, Dennis. How are you doing?
I am doing great, ladies. Thank you so much for having me on. I kind of like that theme. It kind of almost felt like I was watching like a surf movie or something.
Well, thank you very much. We worked pretty hard on that, so
It shows. I
very
love that. That was a very cool intro. I liked it.
thank you very much. Before we get into it, as always, everybody, like, share, subscribe right here on Peaches and Power Bombs. Tell your friends that we are live and we are going over the WrestleMania card. Even people who don't watch wrestling on a regular basis will sometimes watch WrestleMania. So tell them to tune in. And we have one comment with us, our friend Corey Pride. How are you, Corey?
Hi.
Thank you for deciding to come and check us out. We appreciate it. I think I know who that is. I think that might be my friend on Twitter, Mr. Teamster, but we'll see. We'll see if I'm right. All right. So before we get into the WrestleMania show, I did want to mention, talk just a little bit about our Hall of Fame inductees. I believe the Hall of Fame is Friday night on Peacock, right
Yep,
after SmackDown.
that is
And
correct.
I haven't heard of any other names besides the four that are listed here. So, real quick, Dennis, just let us know what you think about these four great talents that are going into the Hall of Fame this year.
All well deserving. I think the one on here, honestly, who is the most deserving of being in the Hall of Fame is Andy Kaufman because of what he meant to wrestling as general, especially what he did for the Memphis scene back in the early '80s. Um, Andy, this is probably one of the most long overdue inductions, in my opinion. I mean, for those of you that don't know, Andy Kaufman basically put Memphis wrestling on the map, and his feud with Jerry Lawler is still talked about to this day. And I don't know if you ladies caught the biography on Jerry the King Lawler that was on, I believe, not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before. They talked about how the when he slapped Andy Kaufman on the David Letterman show, it's like one of the top 50 moments in television history. And I mean, that's really, I mean, and that's pro wrestling. I mean, Hogan, the Rock and Wrestling connection, the war to settle the score at MTV, isn't on there, but this is. And if you ever get a chance, check out Man on the Moon, the biopic about Andy Kaufman starring Jim Carrey. Was really very good look into his life, and just Rey Mysterio. I think that was probably the most surprising because he's still active, but again, well deserved. Muda speaks for himself, and then Stacy Keibler. For what she did. I think she did a lot of for wrestling, especially women's wrestling. Than I think a lot of people give her credit for, but no arguments for me on any of these. So
Alora.
Um, yeah, I echo the same that DDJ said. Um, I think what's interesting with Rey Mysterio is this feud with Dominic. They're definitely going to work something in there. That's something that's never been done before. So I think it would be really interesting um to see what they do. They'll probably kick Dom out, but but the fact is, you never had anybody crash the Hall of Fame ceremony quite like that. So I'm thinking there's going to be some shenanigans with that.
Planned shenanigans. We've
yeah.
had unplanned
Yep,
shenanigans.
I was just going to mention that and stuff, but yes, you mentioned Dom and Ray, and I know we're talking about the match later, but honestly, the Dom Ray storyline is the best thing in the WWE outside of the Bloodline, in my opinion.
I
I
agree with that.
agree.
So
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's starting to really pick up. Andy Kaufman, yeah, like he probably this is way overdue. You have people you see people like Logan Paul come in now. Andy Kaufman probably started all that more than likely. If
Yeah.
it wasn't for Andy Kaufman, we wouldn't have seen LT, Mike Tyson. I can name a bunch of people, but primarily Logan Paul, as he is on the card facing Seth Rollins this weekend. So um I think that's gonna be a good one. Great Muda speaks for itself, just like the DJ said. Stacy, I've always liked Stacy. Stacy was not really a great wrestler, but she was a great valet. Um, she knew how to captivate a crowd. She was naturally beautiful. I think that was one of the things everybody, many fans liked about her, was that in the era where you're having cosmetic jobs, boob jobs, Stacy was natural. And but Stacy knew how to captivate an audience, and she knew she knew how to keep the story going, so to speak. Because like one of her best things she did was the Duchess of Dudleyville. That can't
Yep.
go
Yeah.
unnoticed.
No.
Yep.
But yeah, definitely as a valet, she was a great valet, and that was at a time when valets were phasing out too. But she did she did her job as far as that goes.
Agreed.
Yeah. The Andy Kaufman Hall of Fame induction is really special, especially to me and my family, because my dad in the early 80s would go to the Louisville Gardens in Louisville, Kentucky every Tuesday night to see Memphis wrestling. And he said that they used to have to escort Andy out of the building
Mhm.
right after he did his little thing really quietly, because those fans were crazy
Yeah.
and they had to keep him safe. So they had to escort him out of the building pretty quickly. And yeah, he took my mom to Memphis wrestling for their first date. And
That's
someone,
awesome.
Jerry Lawler, landed in her lap that night. He
Oh
got thrown.
wow!
Wow, that's
Yep.
cool.
And he got a second date.
Hey,
And they're still together. So
that's awesome.
she claims to not like wrestling, but I think that she secretly likes it, because I don't think Dad would have gotten a second date if it was. And here I am today. So
There you go.
yeah, so it's really cool to. I always thought he was already in there. I guess I was really shocked that he wasn't,
Yeah.
and this is exciting for me to
I-
see him go in.
And I think one of the coolest things about this whole Andy Kaufman thing is, and I'm sure you, especially if you saw the biography and it's been documented, he never cashed one check,
No,
which
he
is
did it
just
for fun.
unreal. Like, and he never cashed. I think when they did the Tales from the Territory special on Memphis, when they did most specifically Lawler versus Kaufman, that got mentioned, and then they also talked about it on the biography, as Jerry Lawler biography as well too. And I just thought that was the coolest thing. Like, he never cashed a check.
Yeah. Unreal, and very deserving. So happy for well, Andy's family, and then the rest of the people as well.
Yes.
Okay, yes, I was right. He said that that's my friend, and he said Cyndi Lauper, China got a raw deal. Kaufman is deserving though. Um,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cyndi
hopefully,
Lauper definitely should go in like next
She's
year.
probably now that Kaufman is in, she's
mhm.
probably, in terms of, at least, well, you know what? I'll even take it a step further in terms of people that should be in that Hall of Fame, and wrestlers, referees, whatever. I think Cyndi Lauper is up there because of what she did for the WWF in the 80s. So
Yeah.
absolutely.
And women's wrestling in general during that time too.
Yes.
So, uh, I hope not keep the Hall of Fame pure. It- Talking about Dominic Mysterio
Mhm.
potentially crashing the Hall of Fame, I can kind of see both ways where
Yeah.
you want to build up that heat, because if there really was something going on in that family, that's something that he would do, right? But on the other hand, it's a special night for Rey Mysterio, and you don't want anything to be taken away from him having his moment to
Agreed.
celebrate his career. So I'm kind of on the fence about it.
What?
Maybe
Go ahead.
maybe like during, like, at the end of SmackDown, maybe have him try to get into the building or something, and they have security guards or something escort him out,
I
or
like that.
something
I
like
like
that.
that.
So
Or you can have him go, enjoy his moment, do his acceptance and all that. And then as the show is ending and he gets off stage, Dom could attack him there. He could sneak through and attack him.
I could see something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see on Friday
I
night to see what
know.
happens.
Yep.
Yeah. Our friend Ray is here. Hello, Ray. He says
Ray.
hello. Adam Cole is king. Right on cue. He knows. I know we're talking about.
Yes.
We'll give him his little moment there.
There you go.
He says that's really cool. And our friend Chris from the Straight Up Wrestling Show is here as well. Hello.
Hi.
All right, so let's go ahead and we'll talk about the Andre the Giant Battle Royal for a few minutes, and then we'll actually officially get into the WrestleMania card. There's a lot of buzz about who's in this, and a lot of upsetness, and I understand that. We've got names like LA Knight and Bobby Lashley, and you're just sitting there going, really? Why are they thrown in this? I honestly think it was a panic, last minute decision type of moment. They could have done something a little bit more creative and put a little bit more thought into it, but they decided to take the easy way route. And I'm not going to fault them on that. We don't know what's going to happen. Maybe something will come out of this too.
Mhm.
So, what do you guys think of Andre the Giant Battle Royal? Do you really see, if you're going to have someone like Bobby Lashley or an LA Knight, anybody else in it being able to take it? I can't see it.
I would love to, because said from talking with you ladies before we started recording and stuff. Seems like you're kind of you're in my boat, big LA Knight fans and stuff. I would love to see him win it, but I just feel like obviously the thing with Lashley being in this is the direct result of the stuff that's going on with Bray, which if he's sick or something else, best wishes and stuff,
absolutely,
and get back, come back soon and stuff, but and I think that, and I feel bad for Lashley because he's just kind of a casualty of all of this. But I always like this battle royal, because it always feels like that they can use this as like a launching pad for someone that could use, some, kind of push, like with Madcap Moss, who won it last year, or when Cesaro won the inaugural, or when Corbin won it, I think in 2016, I believe, or 2017. I don't remember which year he won it. I think it was 2016. But just to me, that's what this is about. And I mean, I wish I had a list of the participants in front of me so I could give you an honest take of who's going to win. But I mean, I just with everything going on, and I think this would play into his I should be on the WrestleMania card. I don't see how LA Knight doesn't win this.
I agree, because he's been saying that for like weeks now. There's no WrestleMania in LA without LA Knight. Yeah.
And we don't know. There might be something scheduled, not necessarily a match, but just LA Knight coming out there running his mouth, and maybe like a Stone Cold or something coming out there and giving him a good stunner or something. Something like that could happen. We don't know. Yeah. We need a yeah button, Alora. We need a yeah button.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. The Mister would love that. That's kind of our thing. And we got his daughter into it too. We'd be like, one of us will start, yeah. And then she's, yeah.
And once you start a yeah chant, you can't stop. It's so hard.
It's cute.
Chris says Bray threw a real money wrench in the WrestleMania plans. Well, you can't. It's not like he scheduled his whatever it was, whether it was a mental health thing or a real physical issue. You don't schedule those things. Oh, it's WrestleMania time. Let me have a mental breakdown real quick. I mean, so let's have a little bit of grace towards Bray Wyatt. We don't know what's going on with him. So It
I think maybe what he meant is the situation with Bray. I don't think maybe
yeah, yeah.
necessarily like that. Maybe Bray, that what happened with Bray threw a monkey wrench into the WrestleMania
Right,
plans.
right,
Because
right.
if that's how he's wording it, then absolutely. Because I mean, he was figured in. I guess he was supposed to go up against Lashley. It sounds like and stuff. So
Right, right. Yeah, the situation did. And I apologize, Chris, for if I threw you under the bus. Didn't mean to do that. but but yeah, it we don't know what'll happen. We'll just see.
yes, we will.
We have another
Yeah.
champion.
Yeah.
Corey says LA Knight should win and go help Omos beat Brock and reform the Hurt Business in the process.
I'd be all right with that.
I don't know if
There
I'd
is,
like LA Knight with the Hurt Business. I don't. LA
We-
Knight's one of those guys who I think just is better off by himself.
yeah, yeah.
He's got that charisma and that presence. Like
Oh, he is.
I
Just
feel
awesome.
like that it's just bubbling. Take for him to take off on the main.
Well, that's the
roster.
rumor going around is that he's like one of the next. He's going to be like one of the they're going to start featuring him more prominently. It sounds like he's in for a big push after Mania, so we shall see.
As he should. I
Absolutely.
was reading something the other day that I think he's the same age as me. I'm 39. Or he might be 40. I don't know.
I
Anyway,
think
he's
he's
up.
early 40s, I believe. He's closer
Yeah,
to me.
he's up there. My thing is age is nothing but a number in this case. I mean, the dude obviously has it. I mean, he's not the first person to, achieve you know, achieve major success in WWE at a later age.
I
Well, just
believe.
Justin. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, and I'll give my thought.
I was just about to say, I believe AJ was like what 42 when he won the WWE Championship for the first time. So
But then you also look at just people who got. I mean, Diamond Dallas Page is the prime example. He didn't start getting into wrestling until his mid-30s, and I mean,
Yeah.
he went on to have just an amazing career. In the business. I mean, three-time WCW champion. Multiple time, U.S. champion, TV champion, tag champion. WWF tag champ. I mean, just amazing. Not to mention just everything he's done outside of the ring.
yeah. Oh, Corey says that he meant Lashley should come in and go help Omos.
Yeah, much better.
Yeah, that makes more sense because there's still a little bit of unfinished business between Brock and Lashley. That ending was so weird. And this is coming from the biggest Brock Lesnar fan you can find on this planet, okay? But it was weird.
When we talked about this on my when I talked about this with my guys on my podcast, shooting shit. Sorry, had to get a plug in there. And stuff. I had mentioned to me, I said the only way that match ended at Elimination Chamber was going to make sense to me is if it led to something at Mania. Like I said, I was hoping and praying that we would see those two go at it in the fight pit at WrestleMania and stuff. And obviously that didn't happen. So it makes what happened at Elimination Chamber make even less sense to me. But I mean, yeah, like you said, we could see Bobby come in and help screw Brock, but I think if they do that, I don't think they accomplish the goal with Omos that they're trying to. I think Omos, if Omos beats Brock cleanly, that's like the best thing that could possibly happen for him at WrestleMania.
I agree with that, and we will get into that in just a few moments. All right, so first up, I went ahead and put this first because this is supposed to open night one according to spoilers.
Yep.
So
they did say that on SmackDown last week.
Yeah, it was announced.
Okay. So this is official. This will start the show. The U.S. title will be on the line. Our champion Austin Theory will defend against John Cena, and I'm looking forward to this as a big Austin Theory fan. I'm going to be completely biased in this, and I'm 100% on board with Austin Theory. I think he's great. The baffle, the little bit of lack thereof of back and forth with John Cena a couple weeks ago. I don't think that that was Austin Theory's fault. I think he was told not to say anything, because if you've seen Austin Theory on the indies, you know very well that he is very capable of talking for himself. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was all him. And and I think he this will just help raise him up even higher.
Yep.
And he just hasn't really had the chance to prove what he can really do yet.
Yeah, my 7-year-old who kind of watches it with me, slowly starting to get into it a little bit more and more, and he's really kind of gravitated towards John Cena, who's someone like my 7-year-old's going to watch wrestling. John Cena is a guy I want him to look up to and be like, that's my guy.
Absolutely.
And I'll be honest with you, I'll probably be wearing my Cena shirt, but on Saturday, that's kind of the plan. But I, much like you just said, Marie, I wholeheartedly believe that especially after what happened on that promo when Cena came back and basically just tore him a new one. I think I think this is all set up to kind of launch Austin Theory into the stratosphere. I mean, to me, it's the only thing that makes sense. I mean, there's nothing to be gained by Cena coming back and winning the United States Championship unless he drops it to somebody on, like, say, Monday Night Raw, someone from NXT or someone, in a shocker or something like that. But even then, I just think Austin Theory is someday going to be the guy. And I mean, who better to kind of stake your claim with that than by beating John Cena?
Yeah.
Pretty
Oh,
much.
Alora, anything
Yeah.
else to add?
I think it's gonna be good. This should be a good match. It's the opener. It's gonna pretty much set the tone for WrestleMania both nights. I think it's gonna be a banger. Usually, usually when John Cena um shows up with, especially a match of this importance, he usually shows out. So that's the nicest thing I'll say about John. Uh but yeah, I think this will be a banger. Like I said, it'll steer the course, so to speak.
Yeah, and I think John Cena's a he has so much charisma and he brings so much life into the product. You know, back in the day when he was there day in and day out, and all of us, some more than others, were complaining about him. He wins all the time,
Mm-hmm.
Super
Super
Cena,
Cena.
blah blah. And then when he's gone, he left this big hole, and you're
Yep.
like, I kind of miss that feeling that he always brought, that excitedness, that charisma, that energy that he always brought. It was always good, and I'm looking forward to seeing him on WrestleMania and having a match. And you never know what could happen. I really honestly think that Austin Theory is going to win. They are very high on him, but if you recall, a couple years ago when Zack Ryder was still in the company, he won the IC title in a ladder match on WrestleMania, and then he lost it the very next night, right back to The Miz.
Mm-hmm.
So they could do something insane like that. So who knows? Anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
They like
Corey's,
saying that too.
yeah. Corey says, completely agree. Cena is there to bless Theory.
Pass the torch,
I
so to speak.
I believe that. All right, next up, we'll talk about the SmackDown Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. Some are saying this might end night one. So we went from the beginning to perhaps the ending. This one is not set in stone, though. So I think it's just more of a wait and see type thing with this. But the the build's been a little this,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm excited about the end result more than the match itself. Just Rhea Ripley finally getting that win and pushing her into that stardom. Even though she's been women's champion before, this feels different, and it almost feels like it's the very first time, even though it really isn't. So I'm excited about that.
This is a new chapter for Rhea Ripley,
Yep.
and because she's been a big player for the Judgment Day. Um, I think we all knew, even before NXT, there was something special about Rhea Ripley. Then she did that total character change that pretty much set in stone, and I think her character has evolved, and this is somebody who has presence. She can talk. She's dominating. Like, you don't want to cross her in a dark alley. um,
No.
she is a legitimate threat. Not saying that nobody else on the women's roster is, but you can look at Rhea Ripley and be like, you don't want to mess with her.
Nope. I know I wouldn't.
Mm-mm.
So
I think Rhea's only like what 25 now.
yeah. Yep.
I mean, she's very young. I mean, and I like the fact that she said she wanted to choose Charlotte because when she faced Charlotte at WrestleMania 36 at the Performance Center, she's like, I wasn't ready. And
Yep.
she said, now I feel like I'm ready. And I think she is. And I think she's going to dethrone the Queen.
Yeah, and you talk about like this being kind of like Rhea Ripley, like seeing her, like this is the first time, or however you just worded it and stuff. It really is, because this Rhea Ripley is nothing like the Rhea Ripley that lost to Charlotte at WrestleMania 36, or even the one that lost. I think she lost to Charlotte, I believe, like at an NXT event or something like that as well, too, in a 3-way or something. But I mean, Rhea Ripley has really found herself with the Judgment Day. I mean, she's honestly one of probably the biggest reason why Dominic Mysterio is as over as he is right now. Because I don't
Yes.
think he's as over as he is if Rhea Ripley isn't his mommy
Yes.
and stuff. But I absolutely love it. I mean, I think this is tailor made for. This is like going to be Rhea Ripley's "I have arrived" match, and I am here to stay. So I because I mean, again, Charlotte, the best women's wrestler of the modern era, maybe of all time. That's debatable and stuff, but obviously the modern era. But I think this is Rhea Ripley is coming to not be handed the torch from Charlotte Flair. I think she's going to just rip it out of Charlotte's hands and run with it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Rhea's just like you said has been totally different with the Judgment Day. It's brought a different side out of her. I mean, she's always had that that a little bit of the bad girl, rough around the edges type thing, but this whole thing with Dominic has just really pushed. And I think they're pushing each other into just it's not just a one-sided thing. I think Dominic has pushed her as well, and you know,
Oh
the
yeah,
whole
absolutely.
the whole Te Quiero Mami thing is just great. So
They work so well together.
yeah, absolutely.
Mommy, she is strong. I was like, what?
Yeah, they're basically, and I just thought of this because there's all the sins with Dominic, the way, especially his character to Eddie Guerrero, and that promo that he cut last night on Raw, which was just wow and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's almost like Dominic and Rhea are like the modern day Eddie Guerrero in China, like
Yes.
when they were paired together.
Mamacita.
Yes, yep.
I love it.
Yeah, Corey says that Rhea should have won their first Mania match. She better win Saturday. I kind of felt that way at that time, but I think that she has a point that she wasn't quite ready for that spotlight yet. And it
Right.
was in a really weird time too, because the whole world shut down. So you kind of don't want to put all of that pressure on someone who hasn't been in that position before. So I understand like why Charlotte won first, because
Right.
she's your steady, you can trust her, and they
She's
weren't
mainstream.
sure.
Like more
Yes.
people know who she is. And also, too, you got to remember that first match was for the NXT Championship, so you're trying to bring more viewers to your NXT brand, especially
That's right.
with this, you know,
That's right.
with
That's
this
right.
promotion called All Elite Wrestling getting having just really starting to pick up and stuff. And you needed someone to kind of bring the viewers into NXT to kind of combat the, help out in the ratings war. And so, I mean, I
Yeah.
get, like you said, I get why they did what they did. But yes, like I said, I think we're all in agreement that this weekend it's going to be Rhea's time.
Yeah. Yeah. AEW was only 5 months old when the pandemic happened. So they were
Yep.
still unsure of what
I
they were
thought
going
they
to do
were.
over there.
I thought it was 2019 when they started up.
Yes, October of
Yeah, Dynamite
2019.
was
You mean Dynamite? Okay.
yeah. AEW was started their first official show was the Double or Nothing in May of 2019. But yes, I think it was the first Wednesday in October of 2019 was the first
That's right.
Dynamite. So
Okay.
yeah,
So
And
that's
that's
where
where
you're
the
coming from.
battle,
Okay.
yeah, that's where the battle was because
yeah.
you were struggling for viewers and things.
Yeah.
Corey asks, but does Charlotte increase NXT viewership?
Probably not, but you don't know. I mean, if you're desperate to get ratings, you're gonna try, things like that. You're gonna try to.
Well,
It may
Charlotte
not
has that.
always work, but I mean, you can't fault them for trying.
Right.
Yeah, Charlotte has that name recognition too. Flair.
Right.
Yep. It's gonna be good. Okay, up next is the women's WrestleMania Showcase match, which is a four-way tag team match. I believe the winner will get to face Becky and Lita at some point for the tag team championships. I think that's right. And we have Liv Morgan and Raquel Gonzalez versus Natalia and Shotzi versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville.
Yeah, I could see I could see whoever wins this match kind of being in line for that next shot at the women's tag team champions. And I mean, if that's the case, to me, there's you got to go with Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler because I mean, and the nice thing about this pairing is we know that these two are real life friends. They were part
Yeah.
of the MMA's Four Horsewomen. Baszler is someone who also I don't think gets nowhere near the credit she should deserve it.
Yes.
She deserves it. How good she is, and especially with Ronda being injured right now, Shayna can carry kind of like the load for the team and stuff. And I mean, there's still money in Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch being on opposite sides of the ring. So I mean, to me, this is a no-brainer. If there's a tag team title shot, looming for whoever wins this match.
I agree. First off, I like how they call this a WrestleMania showcase. I kind of like that. I kind of like that because it gives this match a little bit more of an importance to it. It's not a throwaway match, basically. With that being said, they've been kind of working with this for a while with all all these tag teams with Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green being like thrown together last night. But I think this is Rousey and Baszler's match to win. Even though Ronda's injured right now, like you said, DDJ, Baszler can pick up the slack, so to speak, and I think them winning the women's tag championships is inevitable for sure.
Yeah, looking at the teams, I think Ronda and Shayna is pretty much the no-brainer choice. Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville, I think, is a perfect pairing because
Yes, I love that pairing.
Sonya's been giving Adam Pearce a hard time forever. And then you got Chelsea Green doing her Karen bit, as well.
And knocking it out of the park.
Yes, it's been fantastic. And their whole shtick, they can't really win because then they can't complain if they win. So
Yep.
they have to lose. And
Yeah, that's
I
their thing, complaining.
that is so great that the whole way of you getting over is you losing and people expecting you to lose. They don't want to see you win. They want to see you lose so you can complain. It's
Right.
great.
Yep.
Wonderful. All right, what else do we have? Um he's Corey says that Rhonda and Shayna are winning, right? Yes.
I think
And that
we're all if we all had the pencil, we would that's what would happen.
yep. And our viewership is a little bit down because we're going a whole lot later than what we normally do. So they're probably all tucked in bed. So
I'm sure they can just watch the replay.
right,
Yeah, it's
right.
okay.
All right. On the men's side for their WrestleMania showcase, we have Braun Strowman and Ricochet, which I think that's been a fantastic pairing, versus the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy versus the Viking Raiders. Who do you have, Alora?
Mm. You know, I'm a big I changed that for you. There we go. That was bothering me. Um I'm a big Street Profits fan. Um I would definitely like to see them come out on top, but they've been teasing a split for a while too, so
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of hard to tell which direction they're going in right now. Then you got this odd team of Strowman and Ricochet that somehow works. To me, it does. And then you got Alpha Academy and the Viking Raiders. If it wasn't, I don't know, Viking Raiders, I would love to see a win from them. I don't think they get enough credit either. Um,
Absolutely.
I really think I really think they should get their flowers, and it should be at WrestleMania. That would be my pick.
That's a good one. That's something I was thinking about. For me, like I said, these four teams are great. Like I said, and I've been saying this on my podcast for a long time that whenever the time comes and the Street Profits are broken up, Montez Ford is your next big thing. Sorry,
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar. Um, but like out of these four teams, I mean, to me right now, like I said, I would love to see the Viking Raiders get this, but I just right now this Alpha Academy is just doing it for me, and just the dynamic, with the whole thing with Otis possibly becoming the
Otis.
next of the maximum male models. Like Otis is so damn good, and we talked about WrestleMania 36, just not a few minutes ago with the whole Rhea Charlotte thing. Let's not forget, WrestleMania 36 was also when Otis got the girl. And
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
one of
Yeah.
the and they had that was just some really good stuff that came afterwards and stuff, and it was a shame that it got cut so suddenly. But I mean, I love Alpha Academy. Me, that I would love to, and I hope to win, and I want them to win, and I'm just gonna say screw it. I'm picking Alpha Academy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
uh, it's funny. Otis kind of reminds me of R-Truth a little bit. It doesn't matter how silly it is, he's going to make it fun to watch no matter
Yep.
what. And it's like the subtle little things, like I think he was like doing a spa day or something, and he had like a cucumber on his stomach, and he just picks it up and eats it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
It's I like that comparison, like how you mentioned. Just Otis is kind of like he's got kind of like got that R-Truth role, which, by the way, we talked Hall of Fame earlier. R-Truth should be in the Hall of Fame at some point. He
Yeah.
needs to be in it. So
He
just
will.
throwing that out there.
He will. And as far as my pick goes, I'm gonna go with Alora on this one. I'm really thinking the Viking Raiders, especially if what we think is going to happen with the tag team championships. You'll have perhaps new champions who are going to be babyface champions, and you're going to really need a
I
really
didn't even think of
strong
that.
heel tag team to be their first contenders. After, the Usos will probably be away for a little bit with their tail between their legs. And so we'll need Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens to have something for them,
I
you know.
like that. That's
So I would say the Viking Raiders as well.
and you can also, because I don't honestly
Great
know
point.
if I can't even remember. Like I said, I love Ring of Honor, but and you could play into the history of all four guys in Ring of Honor. I'm assuming at some point they've had to have cross paths in Ring of Honor, but yeah, I just think that I didn't even think about that. That's a really good take there.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
What do we have in here? Um, Corey says he doesn't really care about the match. Well, sometimes things talk to us and sometimes things don't, and you're allowed to not like it.
Yeah, that's the great thing about pro wrestling. That
Sugar
there's
Shane
something for
has
everybody.
showed up. He
He
says the
did.
strong heel tag team is coming. RK Bro. Oh God, I miss them.
Yeah,
I have a theory about them too. Well, not so much Matt Riddle, but more Randy Orton, and I don't think that they're going to come back as a tag team, but that's just me.
I've got a theory on Randy Orton as well too, and I'll get into that a little bit later.
Yes. We probably have the same thought.
Watch us, we probably will.
Okay, more tag team-ish action going on. We have Team Becky, which is Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus, and Lita versus Damage Control, which involves Bailey, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai. And I know a lot of people were probably like, well, why are they taking time away from, the women who are back there and they're not going to have a match on WrestleMania and everything, but this is WrestleMania, and you do want to bring in as much eyeballs as possible. And Lita and Trish are two icons of women's wrestling, and I'm pretty sure all the other girls involved are just tickled pink to be
Mm-hmm.
able to work with those two women at
Mm-hmm.
WrestleMania. And
Absolutely.
I'm really excited for just Trish and Becky, not Becky, but Trish and Lita, because when they were full-time wrestlers, women's wrestling really wasn't as respected as it is now. So
Mm-hmm.
them really getting to work some meat for the biggest showcase, of the year. I'm just so happy for them that they get that moment.
Yes.
Yeah, they're definitely um enjoying the fruits of their labor, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I said a while back, I was like, I don't understand why they're doing this. And I totally forgot they had a backstage confrontation a few months back when Trish said, I can go from I am retired to I was retired. I forgot all about that.
Yep.
So it was kind of like they planted seeds then, and I forgot about it. So when she said why she returned and she said that, and I was like, that's right, I completely forgot about that. And so I think there's a lot of rumor going on in this match that Trish Stratus is going to turn heel. I will say this. I think it'd be predictable, but it is not the first time she has turned heel at a WrestleMania.
No, it's not.
She turned on Jericho and
Yep.
made out with Christian
Yep.
in WrestleMania 20. You're just
Yep.
like,
And that was I remember watching that. I think I was at my uncle's house watching that WrestleMania, and like I had no idea. I was genuinely shocked when that happened, but
me too.
it worked and stuff. But I this match, the people are complaining about Lita and Trish taking up these spots, but Lita and Trish, when they get in the ring, they've shown they can both still go.
Yes.
I mean, Lita had, they've both been in, multiple women's Royal Rumble matches. Lita, I believe, actually wrestled, Becky. I think Becky Lynch and Lita had, I believe it was last year. It might have been at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, the one in Saudi Arabia. I believe they had a really good one-on-one match and
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
because I remember this was Becky going in. I think because this was in the lead up for Becky versus Bianca last year
Gotcha.
and stuff. But and that's the difference where like someone like this versus someone
Brock
like
Lesnar. Brock Lesnar.
well, Brock can still go when he wants to, in my opinion. But yeah, like I said, Lita and Trish can still go, and I would if anybody in terms of legends are going to take up a spot or part time, whatever you want to call it. I've got no issue with Lita and Trish, especially when it comes to the women's division, just because they can still go. And I think I don't think Trish turns heel just yet, just because I to me like I could see what you were talking about earlier about just turning heel, and there was kind of like you said some subtle nuances and things like that. But to me right now it doesn't make any sense. But what I do think is going to happen as a result of this match is I think this is where we see the beginning of the end of Damage Control, because I think it's Damage Control really I don't think was able to accomplish what I think they had set out, or what the intention was when they all got together at SummerSlam last year. And I just think that like I think Bayley is better off going in her own way. And I honestly I think I just like I said, I just think this is the beginning of the end of Damage Control.
I have to respond to that comment about Brock Lesnar really quick.
Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Don't fight me!
I love it. Well done.
No. No. You don't talk about Brock like that. I'm just kidding. Yeah,
No,
Brock.
that's our lovely banter.
Yes.
Yeah. Breaking news: Majestic Marie versus Alora Presley WrestleMania weekend, and I'll be the special guest referee.
There you go.
I call it right down the middle.
Brock Lesnar's in my corner.
I agree about the beginning of the end for Damage Control. If it's anything to go by Becky's promo last night.
Yes. Yep. That's what you call planting the seeds.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Anything can happen there. And y'all were mentioning Trish and how she said that she could either be retired or not retired. When she did retire, she didn't retire because of injuries. She only retired because her mom was really sick at the time. So she's still relatively healthy. Lita's got a lot of health issues with her neck and everything, but Trish, she's relatively healthy.
And Trish does not look like she's in fact, from when she wrestled when she wrestled against Charlotte Flair, I believe at SummerSlam a couple years ago, and even just like I almost feel like she's gotten younger. She looks like she's gotten younger.
Yeah, she looks fantastic.
Yeah, she does.
She really does. And I'm just glad too for Lita, because Lita did have to retire early because of her neck injury, and at that time medicine wasn't advanced like it is now. That's why you're seeing returns like this, and that's great.
Yeah. We're going to see it with somebody else who's going to be at WrestleMania with Edge. You saw it with you see it with Saraya now in AEW.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Corey says WWE is pushing the women they want. The ones not on the card should work harder to get on next year. That's a fair point. All right, next. We already hinted at this week, but we can talk about it more in depth now. We have finally, after months and months of build, Rey Mysterio finally snapped on his son and said, "You know what? I'm going to teach you a lesson, boy, on respect. And we're going to have a match at WrestleMania." Only in wrestling would we get excited about watching a guy beat the heck out of his son.
But I think just the sheer fact of that statement alone, only in professional wrestling are we getting excited at the prospect of watching a father beat his son. That just goes to show you, and I mentioned this earlier, when we were talking about Rhea Ripley, that just goes to show you how amazing and how I want to say I'll just say effing awesome because I don't know if you guys swear on this show or not, and I'm trying to be respectful and that. But just how amazing and how just awesome Dominic Mysterio has been throughout this whole thing. I remember, a few months ago talking about it's just like he had his really nice debut against Seth Rollins in 2020 at SummerSlam, and then he really hadn't done much then. But since he turned heel and Clash of the Castle and joined up with the Judgment Day, just something started clicking, and then the whole thing, the prison Dom and everything, and then just with Rhea Ripley, it's like it's all coming together for Dom, and it's just he's honestly he's in my opinion one of the breakout star. When we talk about breakout stars so far in 2023, you got to put Dominic in the conversation, and I think this is good. This low key, I'm super excited for this match. I like when this was announced, I remember saying to myself, finally, it's gonna happen. And then as much as Ray has meant to business, I think see I think I think I think he's going to pass the torch, maybe pass the mask or whatever to Dominic Mysterio. Not saying this is happening, but it would not surprise me to see that this wind up being Rey Mysterio's last match.
Yeah, that's fair. Speaking of finally, the Saint made a post the other night. If The Rock was in WWE, he would have a field day with Dom because he's calling himself ex-condom. Condom.
Oh,
Oh
Rock would
gosh.
chew him up and spit him out.
Oh
It
god, that
would
was
be
so
great.
funny when he said that. I was like, yeah, oh my god, he would have had a field day. But
Yes, he
anyway,
would.
oh my god, yeah, that could very well be Rey Mysterio's last match. I think we could see a lot of storytelling in this match too, a lot of emotional storytelling, kind of like Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair type of thing. So I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm gonna be a little bit selfish and say, please not quite yet, Rey Mysterio. You're like one of the few people that I watched when I was a kid that's still on there. So I'm like, no, because that means old age has finally set in when they're
I
all
know,
gone.
right?
When they're all gone. But
Don't talk to me about old age. I'm sure I'm probably older than both of you.
perhaps, I don't know. But I think that they could not stretch this out too long, but I think that this could very well lead up into SummerSlam too, and just kind of take up half the year. So I don't know. I see Dominic winning here. Obviously, I don't think Ray would be like, "Oh no, I want to go over my son on WrestleMania."
No, Ray is not that guy. There's yeah, and stuff. So I'm in agreement with that.
No.
Y'all do know Vicky Guerrero is a free agent right now.
Is she? I thought she was until the summer.
Oh, I read that she was a free agent.
She said that she's not renewing her contract with AEW, but she's not quite ready. Yeah.
Gotcha. Dang. I was hoping
I know. It would have been.
That would be something that, like, if she were to show up and help Dom win. The heat that Vicky Guerrero was always such a great heat magnet. This would be like time.
Yeah. It would be something if they could work out a deal with AEW or something and just let her show up for a few minutes and let her be out there and do something, and then let her ride it out until it's over, and then she can maybe show her face again when her contract is up. I don't know if they would do anything like that though, but it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. I would love for that, but I don't see it happening myself.
No. YK Beast on YouTube. We got some YouTube people on tonight. That's awesome. Roman Reigns needs to retain the title. He needs to complete 1,000 days. We will talk about that in a few minutes. I don't know. I'm so torn. Shane says, I am looking for a surprise in the Dom Ray match. Vicky Guerrero shows up in Dom's corner and Dom wins the match, maybe. Corey says, not sure who should win. I could see Ray winning and I could see Dom getting the W. Beast says, Brock Lesnar contract is up with WrestleMania as per reports. WWE has offered him a contract till WrestleMania 40 so we can finally say Brock Lesnar finished. Boo. Okay. I haven't heard that his contract is up with WrestleMania. I know he's saying that he's on his last run, but I'm not sure when that is actually over. There hasn't been any official of this is when his contract's over. So
there are rumors that supposedly his contract is up after WrestleMania, but if it's one thing, especially that I've learned to take is these insiders, these dirt sheet writers or whatever. I ain't believing anything until I see something official.
Yeah. And Corey's saying that we're not old, that he grew up on Nick Bockwinkel and Bobby Heenan.
I'll put it this way. I turned 43 in about like 3-4 weeks. So, yes, I'm old.
I will turn the big 40 May 1st.
So my wife will be 40 in June.
Oh, 80s babies.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I'm the youngest over here. I'm 35. So next up, we have a Hell in a Cell match with Demon Balor coming back after a couple years versus Edge. I mean, all Edge. Really should be easy for Edge. All he has to do is cut the ropes, and Demon Balor is toast. I mean, why go through all that stuff if that's all you have to do? All jokes aside, I'm looking forward to this match.
Oh man, this is it.
I'm so torn. Storyline says Edge. The other stuff says Finn Balor needs a big win at WrestleMania.
It's and to quote a really great song by Alanis Morissette, isn't it ironic that this match is happening almost 1 year to the day that the Judgment Day was formed? Because you remember at WrestleMania last year, I think it was night 2 when Edge wrestled AJ Styles, Edge came out to the music that's now being associated with the Judgment Day, and that's also when Damian Priest got involved. So I was just thinking about that actually on my way home from work this evening and stuff. And with everything it's gone through, and Finn could use a really good win, but it's just, to me, the whole thing is Edge is trying to, end the Judgment Day, the thing that he started, and with what happened with Beth, when in the I Quit match with Beth Phoenix and everything. This is gonna. I think Edge gets the win here. I think the thing I'm most excited for about this match are the entrances, because we obviously know the Demon Finn Balor is gonna always has. WrestleMania is going to multiply that, and the rumors are circulating. And again, I won't believe it till I see it, that Edge is kind of going back to the Brood type entrance, and that Gangrel is supposed to factor in as well too. So I think that's what excites me. I know this match is going to be really good, but I think the thing I'm most excited about for this match are the entrances.
Yes. Just reading, I was sitting here reading on the side here, Hell in a Cell, Demon Balor versus Edge. I mean, just reading that, you're like, another rumor that surfaced today is that Tony Khan could possibly let Christian Cage make a one night only appearance for a Brood entrance. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but that is something that I saw today that a lot of people are fighting on.
Well, I don't know if there's. That's the first I've heard of that rumor. But I don't know how much stock I'd put into it, because Christian Cage is actually supposed to be at the C2E2 comic convention in Chicago this weekend. I'm actually going Friday, and he's one of the reasons why I'm going.
All right.
Yeah, so I think he's there Friday and Saturday. I can't remember if he's there. It was Sunday. I mean, if he's not there Sunday and they do this match night 2, I could see that being a possibility, but I would say if I were a betting man, I would bet my money on the fact that he's not part of this entrance if that's the case. But I
Well,
mean,
if
you
they
know
did,
what? Anything can happen.
that's true. That's true. And then too, if they didn't even let Billy Gunn show up for the DX thing a while back,
No.
25-year thing, then it's highly unlikely, but that would be cool. With that being said, I love the fact that Edge and Balor are feuding. This is definitely a dream feud. I've always been kind of didn't like how they turned on Edge. It kind of didn't make sense at the time, but now that we're seeing the fruits of the labor here,
Yep.
this is going to be good. And honestly, I would not be surprised if this closes night 1 of WrestleMania. Why not? I would love to see Rhea and Charlotte close, but I really think that this could close night 1.
There's so many matches that could. We haven't. The match that I think should close night 1 is something we have not talked about yet. So now,
Yeah, I think so too. I have a feeling that this is going to open night 2 because night 1 is opening with Theory and John Cena. You need to get the crowd hyped for night 2, and just that feeling of watching
the cage coming down and everything.
Right.
It
could open night 2. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I'm with Miranda. I see that opening night 2.
It'll be exciting no matter where it is on the card. So really excited about that. And like I said, storyline says Edge should win. I really hope that Finn Balor gets a really big WrestleMania moment at some point as well. I don't think he's going to look terrible if he does end up losing. So
he definitely will not.
Yeah.
Corey says Edge has to win. Timothy has joined us.
Hi, Timothy.
Thank you.
The March Madness tournament is insane. There is no team that is ranked 1, 2, or 3 that is left in the tournament for the first time in history.
Oh wow!
I believe they said like the 1 seeds were out by the Elite 8, which was a first as well too.
Yeah. Houston is out, Alabama's out, Purdue, all of them. It's been a crazy basketball.
And Purdue lost to a 16 seed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. I heard about that.
Second time.
I don't follow basketball, but I heard that. So
I've got a cousin who's like religiously into college basketball.
I'm watched college gymnastics, and they're doing their regionals this week, and
nice.
So they're going to have nationals in 2 weeks, and it's going to be pretty close. So I know I'm going to be watching a lot of gymnastics the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Nice.
Corey says that his bracket busted a long time ago. I think everybody's did. I didn't
fill one out this year, but mine probably would have been busted like after the first day. So
yeah. Well, my team is the Indiana Hoosiers, so I had one with them winning, and then I had my realistic one with Houston winning, and that one's busted too.
My cousin Jerry would love you. He's from Indiana, and he's a diehard, and he's all things Indiana University.
Yeah, we're a special breed.
Yes, you guys are.
Crimson and cream.
Okay. I actually watched Alabama and Boise State the other day, gymnastics. Yeah.
Next up, we have the Raw Women's Championship with Bianca Belair versus Asuka. And this is another one that could go either way, and I wouldn't be upset about it. So what do you guys think?
I've been a huge fan of Bianca Belair, and she's been nothing. She really is the EST when she is what she says she is, and she can back it up. I really like what this change or for that Asuka's undergone since she came back at the Royal Rumble, kind of reverting more to like her kind of personality and stuff. The build for this match really hasn't been the best, but and I'm an avid listener of Busted Open on Sirius XM. I usually have it on my car on the way to work and stuff, and then I catch the replay on my way home. And they had talked about that the vignette that they had aired last night, kind of hyping up this match, and I was in agreement with this vignette, the video they did for last night, that to build this match up probably did more for this match than any of the storylines leading up to this and stuff. I mean, I'm with you as well. Like, I would have no issue with either one of these ladies going over, but I feel like if hold a gun to my head and I have to make a decision, I'm gonna go with I think while Bianca's been nothing short of spectacular, I almost feel like I think Asuka's no one. We're gonna find out that still nobody's ready for Asuka, and I think she ends Bianca Belair's almost 1 year again. She won the title at WrestleMania last year, and so we're talking about 1 calendar year almost. But I think all good things come to an end, and I think that's what happens here. I think Asuka takes the win and gets the belt.
Yeah, Bianca's been going really hard at it for the last couple of years, and that was the first thing I was going to say was, is Bianca Belair ready for Asuka? She may think, she probably is ready for Asuka, but I don't think she's going to get that pinfall. I really would. This match is going to be a banger. I think this is going to be a sleeper match, and I mean, if Bianca won, I'll be all right with it. But if Asuka won, I'd be fine with it too. We're seeing something going on with Asuka. It's like a different chapter going on, and if she goes in it with some gold, great. As for Bianca, do we see her start a new feud if somebody interferes or start something with her on Raw, or is she going to take a break? We don't know. So it is, and then you have to think too. If Bianca wins, who's going to challenge her next? It's so many possibilities.
Yeah, I mean, and she's gone through most of the Raw women's roster. I mean, honestly, I would love to if Bianca does retain. I mean, I would have no issue with them going back to Becky versus Bianca again. But I would love to, if we're talking someone new to step up, I would love to see, and I really hope they start doing something with this woman who I'm going to announce. I would love to see Bianca Belair or even Asuka, whoever wins this. I would like to see the next challenger. Honestly, give me Candice LeRae versus whoever wins this match, because I think Candice LeRae is just being totally underused right now. And I would love to. I would give me her versus Bianca, her versus Asuka. I'll be sitting there by my TV with my drink in my hand and my pizza in my mouth.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Interesting take. I would be okay with either one, like I said. But if I have to choose, I would have Bianca retain. Asuka go completely dark because she's been only kind of playing with it, right? Playing with it. Okay, a little bit of mist. Okay, I might, come after you, Bianca, but not like in a hateful way, more of like you're my opponent at WrestleMania way. So it really hasn't been heelish completely. So I would have Bianca win and Asuka just go ballistic and completely turn on Bianca, and then you can continue the feud after WrestleMania. Because if you look at the card, especially if you have Rhea take the title off of Charlotte, that's a title change. If you have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn take the title off of the Usos, that's a title change. Cody might win against Roman. That's another one. Do you want all of your titles to change hands, or do you want one or two to be able to retain? So, just looking at it as a whole too.
Right.
And Bianca does so well. Bianca does so well with PR stuff too. Like being there with
like
kids and doing meet and greets and media and all of this kind of stuff. She's a great face for all of that. So just to get through a little bit more with WrestleMania and perhaps SummerSlam of her doing all those kinds of things.
I like
as
that
well.
take. That's a
You
very,
know,
very good take.
I could actually, like, if they do something with Trish as far as the heel turn everybody's talking about, I would not mind seeing Trish against either one of these women.
I would be down for Trish versus Bianca Belair.
Yeah, that's definitely a dream match. One of the dream matches I wanted was Trish and Sasha Banks, and obviously that's not happening. So
No.
Never say never.
no.
Shane says, with Lita being back in WWE, I would finally like to see Edge and Lita together for one final time.
I don't know if I just think there'd be too much of that, just that negative stigma stemming from what happened back in 2005 and stuff and all that. I get the point. I mean, maybe just, but yeah, I could do without that. I don't need to see that, but that's just my take.
No, and that just brings up all those that bad blood and everything, and I'm not sure if Beth
Everybody
would.
seems to be in a much better place. I mean, Edge is, married to Beth Phoenix, and they have two, girls together. Lita seems to be doing quite well on her own and stuff. Yeah, I just think it to me, I think it would open up a can of worms that really doesn't need to be opened.
Right. And Timothy says the Bloodline will lose all the belts just like the number 1 seed, all lost in the NCAA tournament.
Very well could happen.
Corey is saying that Asuka will win and get her WrestleMania moment. It's a possibility. Anybody could win in this.
Yes, it could be.
And talk about holding grudges like CM Punk. Timothy says, Majestic Marie, Indiana still cheated back in 2002. Dude, that was a long time ago, bro. That was a long time ago. I know what he's talking about too.
You know what though? I can't. I'm not going to fault someone for holding on to something for 20 plus years, because being from the Chicagoland area and being a Bears fan, we still talk about the '85 Bears. So, yeah. I'm not gonna dog anyone for talking about something that happened 20 years ago. When we still talk about something that happened almost 40 years ago.
Yeah.
That was like my dad before he passed away. He was a huge Cleveland Browns fan. And boy, they hold some grudges even to this day.
Yeah, he's talking about when in the Final Four, when Indiana beat Duke in the Final Four to go on to the championship game. They won by the skin of their teeth by like 2 points or something like that, and it was great. I enjoyed it. Indiana was supposed to lose like in the very first round, and they ended up going all the way. So they didn't win the championship match, but
right.
they went all the way to the. It was pretty great. Shane says Bianca wins. Asuka gets DQ'd by spraying the mist. Maybe
it could.
Possibility.
Yeah, that could happen too.
Oh, talk about a banger! The IC title.
So good.
Gunther versus Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. Talk about another one that could go any way with any of these men. I'm going to go ahead and throw what I think is going to happen. I have Gunther winning this match. I don't think it's time for him to lose quite yet. He's on fire. Outside of Brock Lesnar, he is becoming a very fast favorite of mine. So I'm Team Gunther.
Me too.
I'm gonna get stay on it too. Yeah, you want to, like you said, you want to talk about a banger where you're gonna see some bruising and just some chops, and I mean, like, you're gonna talk about a lot of meat slapping going on. This is gonna be that match and stuff. I mean, we've already seen what Gunther and Sheamus can do. I mean, they had that, what some people call the match of the year last year, at Clash at the Castle, and then they had a rematch a few weeks later on SmackDown that was almost just as good. Drew and Sheamus. I mean, this is going to be what you definitely would call a fight. Gunther is just unreal. I mean, he's out hour and 10 minutes in the Rumble and everything, and it's just I literally think that Gunther is being built up to be a legitimate threat in the World Championship scene by the summer, and if that's being the case, you don't take the title off of him just yet. So I definitely going with Gunther should retain.
Either way, this is all of us getting excited during this match.
Yep.
Laura, who do you have?
Gunther, for
Gunther.
sure. This is going to be a banger for sure.
While I have Gunther, you could have a good argument for Sheamus too, and he's never won the Intercontinental Championship. He could pin Drew McIntyre instead of Gunther to save him in order for him to get this win.
Could be, yeah.
You can do that. I don't see that happening, but I wouldn't be upset if it did.
Right.
And what you were saying about Gunther too being a formidable opponent in the world title picture, say Roman Reigns retains, that could be something for SummerSlam.
Well, if we're kind of going that route, that was kind of the thing. If Cody, if it's not Cody, then who? I think we're talking about who right now. If it's not Cody,
interesting take. Interesting.
Very, very possible.
Okay, are y'all excited? Are y'all ready for the most exciting match on the WrestleMania card?
Oh, what is it?
Okay, and like I said, I am a huge Brock Lesnar fan. I am not looking forward to the match. I am, however, looking forward to Brock Lesnar picking that big old dude up and giving him an F5. I think that will be out of this world crazy. But other than that,
if it happens,
it has to. It has to happen. They've been teasing it too much.
You know what?
Since Hogan slammed Andre the Giant.
Yeah, I could see that happen just for that WrestleMania pop. I could see that happening. But and this is kind of my thought going into this. I mean, first off, this should have been Brock versus Bobby in the fight pit. I'll say that till the day I die. But this match here, what does Brock get out of this if he wins? He doesn't really get anything. I think this match stands to, like, if they really want to book Omos as this legitimate monster, this giant monster,
he doesn't have to win. You can have him F5 Omos and Omos get back up, and Brock.
I think. Well, that's what I was going to say. I could easily see Brock getting that F5. Again for that WrestleMania pop. Omos kicking out. And then I think to me though, and this may shock you, I'm picking Omos to win, but I think Brock does get an F5 in the match.
Let's do this.
Sorry.
Brock is my favorite, and I'm always going to want him to win, but I kind of see Omos winning too. Obviously, it's not going to hurt Brock one bit.
Absolutely not.
Brock is just catastrophically out of this world that he could lose the next 5 matches and nothing would even touch him.
He's Teflon.
He's fine. I'm not worried, but Brock's my WWE boy, so I'm always going to root for Brock no matter what. But I can see
this theory with Shane because I was thinking the same thing. Brock wins and the ring breaks. I could see that happening if Brock F5's Omos. I don't know.
Well, they better have like everything under the ring to fix it or something, because that match is not that match is not main eventing night one.
No,
Absolutely not.
No.
No.
So
I had a thought and I lost it.
How about if that did happen while they're repairing the ring? That's when LA Knight comes out there and challenges somebody, and then we see
that
him.
could be. Yeah, it's on the ramp or something.
No,
Well, I like that. That could be.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a thought and it went. It's gone. It went away.
It doesn't get any better as you get older. I'm more telling you now. I speak.
I'm sure it doesn't. Yeah. But yeah. If Omos loses, if they want Omos to be anything on this roster, like I think that they do, he would not gain anything by losing here quite yet, unless they did it in a weird way. But they've been doing too many weird finishes in Brock's matches as of late.
Yeah,
too weird. So
if he's gonna win, he needs to win decisively.
Oh, my thought came back. Brock's gonna. I don't know if y'all noticed the way that Brock was moving last night. He was kind of having to move a little bit like a cruiserweight, hitting them ropes. That was a different side of Brock that I've never seen him move that fast. So he's going to have to take control of that match and almost move like he's a little guy in order for that match to kind of work.
It's not going to go long. I would be surprised if we get
3 minutes tops. 3 minutes. Tops.
If it goes longer than 5, that's too long.
Yeah. I don't think Omos is capable of having anything longer than that because he is so big. And I'm not trying to knock on the dude. It's just that he is so big. It's hard for him to move like that, like you have to. So,
what if it's a no decision because the ring breaks?
They've been having too many silly finishes in Brock's matches.
I think if this were say one of the B-level pay-per-views or like a SmackDown or a Raw or something, okay, but WrestleMania, no, every match, especially in this day and age, especially with all these stories and stuff, you have to have a decisive winner. And I think the worst thing that would happen is if the ring breaks and then they announce the match as like a no decision, because I think the crowd will get really nasty really quickly.
Yep, they sure would.
You certainly don't want that either.
No, not especially your biggest event of the year.
Mm-mm. All right, I think this will be a sleeper, and this might win one of the matches of the nights. If you take besides the big story matches, obviously, because that's going to have our little heartstrings all wrapped up. But as far as just in-ring match itself, this might steal the show. Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul. Logan Paul he's really surprised me, and not just his ring stuff, but just he knows how to work that live crowd to do exactly what he wants them to do. And that is a skill that is lost nowadays. Because they go out there and they're like deer in headlights. Oh no, what do I do? What do I say? And Logan Paul is just right in there with them, reacting to the crowd. It's
a natural.
I love him. I think he's great.
We talk about Logan Paul on our show. When we've talked about Logan Paul on my podcast. It's always along those lines of, God, I can't stand the guy, which I can't stand him. But it just, when it comes to wrestling though, he clearly has put in the time and done the work.
Yeah.
I mean, it's shown. I mean, this first match when he teamed up with The Miz to go up against Rey and Dominic Mysterio last year at WrestleMania, then the match with The Miz at SummerSlam, then the match where he legitimately could have beaten Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel, and then just the stuff with Rollins, in the Royal Rumble and everything. And much like you said that when you brought up this match, Marie, I said this, I said low key, I said this when this match is done, it's like this is going to be the show stealer. I still stick to that. I think this match is going to steal the show because of how good Logan Paul has been in his limited time in the ring, and just how good Seth Rollins is overall. And Logan Paul's gotten the best of Seth Rollins the last couple weeks on Monday Night Raw. I think Rollins gets his comeuppance there, and I think Rollins gets the W. But I think it's not gonna be easy. I think he's gonna have to earn it.
Yeah.
I love it. That stuff's awesome.
We have a lot of fun here on Peaches and Powerbombs.
I can see I'm having a lot of fun.
I just get into that.
Yes, the song. Oh,
I can't wait to be a part of the crowd when he does that.
I can't imagine how loud it's going to be on WrestleMania when they do that, because you can have like over 70, possibly 75,000 people doing that. It's just going to
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think Seth is going to win this one, but I'm enjoying. You could tell that Seth is just basking in the glory, like you could tell he's just soaking up every moment of this.
Yep.
And I think it was the Mister. Yeah, the Mister asked me earlier. He was like, "You think Seth's gonna win the title again?" I said, "Oh yeah." I said, "He's not done."
I could see Seth Rollins getting another run with the championship down the line.
Yeah, I said, "Oh yeah, he's nowhere near done." I said,
No.
"He'll get it."
No.
I like the fact that I think he's just really enjoying himself right now. He's being this goofy character, and it's so goofy and cringy. I like it. It's became something. I just love it.
It works.
Tell he's having fun.
It works.
Yeah. And him coming out there in those clothes that make him look like a pimp in his pajamas is...
And he raided Becky's closet. I can't forget that.
Oh man. Yeah, I agree with both of you. I think Seth is going to win. He has lost a lot of his pay-per-view matches in the past year. I don't think has he won any of his matches on pay-per-view in the past year? I don't think so. Maybe one here or there.
I'd have to go look and stuff, but I can't recall. I know he hasn't, because he didn't win the Rumble. He was the runner up in the Elimination Chamber. I'd have to now I'm gonna have to go back and look and see.
Yeah, and he lost all of his matches with Cody at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, the three. Yeah, he lost all three of those. I'm trying to think if he won anything over the summer. I'll look it up while you two ladies chat.
But anyway, it's obviously hasn't hurt Seth, because outside of like the Bloodline and the Judgment Day stuff, Seth Rollins is over more than he has ever been.
Oh God, yeah.
I think he finally let himself show who he is on camera, this goofy, over the top, silly character that everybody just loves. It's kind of cringy, but everybody still loves it.
Okay, so I have an answer. The last time Seth Rollins won a premium live event match was when he beat Matt Riddle at Clash at the Castle.
Okay.
Back in September.
So that's like one.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And the last time he won a pay-per-view match before that was when he beat Roman Reigns via disqualification at last year's the 2022 Royal Rumble.
So it's been a while.
Yes.
But one in like a year.
He's due.
Yes. Yep. He definitely is. I was saying before that I don't think that Seth has really had the opportunity to showcase who he is, his personality, because that was one of my beefs with him. I was like, I really like him as a wrestler, but I don't know who he is. He just comes out there and goes, "I'm Seth Rollins," and that's not enough for me. But all
No.
of this, the silly over the top laugh and coming out there doing this,
Mhm.
that's the Seth Rollins I want to see. I love this. Okay. We are getting into the meat of the matter. We are almost there, everybody. Thank you for sticking with us the whole hour and a half. If you have so far, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends we are still here. We are about to talk about the main events, in my opinion, of WrestleMania and
Yeah, don't
what
forget to check
everybody's.
out. Don't forget to check out DDJ's podcast as well. We'll let him tell you about it
Thank you.
before
Yes.
we head out for the night.
Yes.
Yes. We are going to talk about the tag team championship match between the Usos versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I tell you, when this was in the rumor mill right after the Royal Rumble, I was really worried. I was like, how are they going to successfully transfer Sami Zayn from the main event match with Roman Reigns and downgrade him to the tag team titles with the Usos? And they have done it brilliantly. It feels more personal because him and Jay, at first at the beginning they were a little bit at odds, but then they finally came together and they were close like
Yep.
brothers, right? And so when Jay turned on Sammy and chose the bloodline over him, it felt way more personal and like just a stab in the back, like, ow, Jay, how could you do this to Sammy? How could you do this to us? That kind of thing. So, and then the whole thing also with Owens and having Owens not quite, oh, yay, we're on the same side. So we're magically going to forget all the bad blood that happened in the past. They didn't do that route. They had Kevin Owens was like, I don't trust you because we've been here before and you always backstab me. So, no, I can do this on my own. And then him finally coming into the realization that, no, I can't do this on my own. I need my brother, Sami Zayn, to help me finally take down the bloodline. It's been perfect.
Yeah, I really liked and I was really nodding in agreement with you when you were talking about how are they going to go from what happened at the Royal Rumble to where we're at now, and stuff. But yeah, like you said, WWE somehow managed to do it, and I think a lot of people out there, including myself, weren't quite sure if they were going to be able to do that. It was always kind of funny that Kevin Owens would talk about Sammy turning on him, when I think Kevin Owens has actually turned on Sammy more than Sammy
He has, but
Yeah.
turned on Kevin.
It's the
Great
Taurus
matches.
in them.
Yeah, right. Right. And it's led to some really classic battles and stuff. And I'm not talking about just in WWE. Again, go back to the days of Ring of Honor, with
Ring of Honor.
Kevin Steen and El Generico and all of that. But this has been just an amazing story. I mean, it was really cool. I legit popped when they embraced that crowd went crazy. And for that reason and that reason alone, that the crowd's reaction to when they finally hugged it out, that is why this match should main event night one.
That's my thoughts exactly.
All right, and stuff. But like I said, going into this though, like I said, I think this is kind of where we start seeing, the cracks in the foundation of the bloodline they start to grow, and I think we start seeing a little bit of the wall starting to start to crumble and everything, and everything. And I just think that KO and Sami Zayn, they've worked hard. They've earned this moment. These four men have earned the spot on WrestleMania.
Yeah.
It wasn't just KO and Sami. The Usos have been just as good in the storyline as Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Jey Uso deserves an Emmy for his performance.
Yep. I'm not going to argue with that.
But they don't call him main event Jey Uso for nothing.
Yeah, KO and Sami Zayn, I think get their long overdue and well deserved WrestleMania moment here. Best friends winning the tag team titles, hopefully in the main event at WrestleMania, It's there's really not anything out there right at this moment that would be more perfect than that. So for that, give me KO and Sami Zayn for the win. And it was a great run for the Usos.
Yes.
Absolutely. Oh,
I agree. Solo had his first pinfall on the main roster Monday.
Yeah, because the first pinfall loss.
So there's that. Then if you have it where the Usos lose at WrestleMania, but Roman retains his title, I could see Roman backstage talking about, you couldn't do it, I had to do it for the family,
Yep.
I could see that, like him saying stuff like that.
And you could also turn it into a 180. Somehow the Usos retain, but if Roman loses, Roman could be like, try to dictate, and the Usos would be like, "Hey, we still got our goal. Where's yours?" So there's a lot of interesting things that are going to come that could and probably will come out of this match, regardless of who ends up winning.
Yeah, with how well the story has been told, almost anything can happen. But I honestly think that they almost have to put it on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn has done something remarkable over the past year, which is, get him not just get himself over, but just get everybody around him over and get everyone invested emotionally. And I think you have to pay off, even if we don't do it in the next match that we're about to talk about. You at the very least, do it here, because Sami Zayn has been in the hearts of every pro wrestling fan for the past year with this bloodline story. He's captured us all, and we need that payoff. We have to have it at this point.
I definitely think KO and Sami Zayn deserve their flowers here.
Yes.
As much as I love the Usos, I don't want to see them drop it.
Yep.
Yeah. Sami Zayn deserves, like, KO deserves this moment, but nobody deserves it more than Sami Zayn. And then this closes night one. All four of these guys deserve it.
Yep.
And really, if the Usos were to win, who in the world could beat them? No one could beat them after this if they beat Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. There's no one left.
Yeah, there really isn't.
Viking Raiders. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I mean, you never know.
Oh man, you talk
That's
about
if they
riots.
win the showcase, right?
Yep.
Riots, if that were to happen. You mean to tell me? Oh man. Okay.
Even Nina said that's crazy.
Yeah, she didn't like that very much. Last but not least, we have the undisputed title with our tribal chief, Roman Reigns. And, we love some Roman up in here. So, we'll take a moment and give him his due.
You there, sitting at home, acknowledge me.
We acknowledged our tribal chief. We the ones. We have Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. Oh man, I am so torn on this. I don't know. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna hold off. Alora, you can do yours first. She's mad. She's like, no, not me.
No, this one.
Oh,
she just clawed my leg.
Oh.
Yeah, she's gonna make me have to pop off here for a minute to pop her. Why are you showing off?
Be good, Mina.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, go bother your dad. Go.
Go ahead, Alora.
Okay. Man, I've said it time and time again. Like, I want Cody to win so bad because he deserves this moment. But I want Roman to win too. And I feel like Cody deserves that iconic WrestleMania moment. But you got Roman in the middle of a historic reign that's nearing 1,000 days, and it will eclipse Pedro Morales' record in this summer before SummerSlam. In addition to that, I saw today they're going to do the Saudi Arabia show is what, next month sometime or a few weeks.
I don't remember. I thought the next Saudi Arabia show was going to be whenever, and it might be because I know the next one is that King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring tournaments. I believe is the next
Hold on,
Saudi
let
show.
me
The next premium live event is Backlash, and that's going to be in Puerto Rico.
okay, so
And
That might be
Roman's not scheduled to be there as of yet.
Roman's not scheduled to be there yet. Okay. Let me see. Yes, it is on May 27th.
Okay, so that is the next one then.
So you got a tour to Puerto Rico and you got a tour for Saudi Arabia in May. And
Okay, so the Saudi Arabia matches are first, and then Puerto Rico is in June.
I got you. There's rumors too that Roman may be taking some well-deserved time off. So, either way I will have to respect it. And, I just because I love Roman, I love the Anoa'i dynasty, his historic reign, etc., etc. I want Roman to win, but the fan in me would love it if Cody won too, just because the whole, everybody knows the story. Finish the story.
Yep.
Wrestling has more than one royal family. Like, I've never been so torn in my life. But I have to say too, I remember when they were trying to super push Roman the first time. And his first WrestleMania main event was at WrestleMania 31 against Brock.
Yep.
That was a hostile, I won't say a hostile crowd, but it could have been if Roman would have won. And
Rollins saved that kept that from happening.
Yeah, exactly. And now here, you really don't know what's going to happen because everybody acknowledges the tribal chief now, but everybody wants to see Cody, put a stamp in the Rhodes dynasty too. So, like, I'm torn. May the best man win. That's what I'm going to go with. May the best man win.
Cheap way out. Okay, so back when Cody came back, and it's funny how many times I've referenced last year's WrestleMania when talking about this year's WrestleMania, because I'm going to do it again. When Cody came back at WrestleMania last year, I think a lot of, including myself, figured, okay, at some point he's going to be, he's going to be, he's going to get matched up with Roman. And, obviously, I think a lot of people were maybe thinking SummerSlam, but then, he had the torn pec, which again, props to him and shout out to him for putting on an instant classic in the Hell in the Cell, with a torn pectoral muscle and stuff. But going back to the Royal Rumble, when Cody Rhodes won, to me at that point in time, it was a foregone conclusion. Cody was going to win at WrestleMania. Since that day, it's gone from it's slowly dwindled down from like 100% certainty, I thought, to like getting down, I'm not as absolutely confident that it can happen. Like there's doubt in my mind that, that Cody can win. But, you go back to the whole finish the story thing, wanting to do this for his dad. I mean, there's so many reasons and so many good things that could come out of this and stuff. And you mentioned Roman taking time off and that and stuff. It's just, I'm not as certain. I'm torn too, not as torn as Alora seems to be. And that, but I mean, I wouldn't, I feel like at this point in time, I mean, if it's, and like it's going back, if it's not Cody, then who? And we all mentioned Gunther as a possibility. I when it comes right down to it, though, if you're gonna hold a gun to my head and I have to pick a winner, I do have a winner in mind, and I'm gonna give my winner in song. adrenaline in my soul. The name will be Cody Rhodes. I think Cody wins it. I think he finishes the story. But, and this is kind of a little bit of a curveball, I think when it comes to who takes the title off of Cody, I think Roman's the one that takes it off of Cody in the rematch, because there will be a rematch between those two. And I think I could easily see Roman taking the title off of Cody. But I think Cody wins. We get that feel-good moment to end night 2 of WrestleMania and everything, and Cody finishes the story. He does it for Dusty and everything. So, like I said, I'm not 100% certain, but I'm still going with I think Cody takes the win.
With the 2 titles, there's been talk of splitting the titles up. What if it was a draw? And they do something to that effect.
I don't.
Yeah, I know.
If it's a draw, then Roman retains. If it's a double pinfall, it's a draw. Roman retain.
Yeah, I know. How you do it,
girl?
That may be the best one yet. So, but no, I honestly I think Cody wins and everything. And I mean, I just with this.
I would rather have Roman win straight up than. I would rather Roman squash Cody in 10 seconds than for it to end like that. And I don't want that to happen, by the way. No.
I was gonna say.
Ugh.
Corey, I was there too. I did change my thought. It was pretty emotional. I'll say that. And it wasn't the right time for Roman.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Oh, it could go either way. But like y'all were saying, if it's not Cody and it's not now, when and who is a big question. And more importantly, what would happen with Cody after this? He would be stuck, because his whole thing when he got back was, I am going after that title that has eluded my family for, decades. And I'm going to be the one to do it. That's been his whole focus, his whole story, everything that he's been fighting for, as when he came back. And unfortunately, that injuries set him back a little bit. I kind of picked Cody Rhodes to beat Roman Reigns last year myself. I was like, Cody's going to be the one to beat Roman Reigns.
I said
He's
it
going to be the one. And, yeah, maybe he loses here, and then Roman gets his 1,000 days, gets to beat Pedro Morales' record, and then he loses it at SummerSlam, but it just would not have that same spark as it does now. It means so much more right now, and I think it would just lose all of that good feeling, the momentum, the steam, whatever you want to call it, if they decided for Roman to win. I have a little bit of a theory on how it's going to happen. If you might indulge me, this is way out there, okay?
A little
but
bit
I've been thinking,
theory?
As long as it doesn't go in line with the dream about the grilled cheese sandwich.
No grilled cheese is involved. Okay, before I go into my theory, a couple years ago, this was right before AEW started, and I am friends with Diamond Dallas Page. I used to train at his gym. I was going to be an instructor for his yoga. Yes, bang. I was going to be an instructor for his DDP yoga. And I was at an event, and Cody was there. And I had a lot of anxiety because there was a lot of people in the room, and I have social anxiety. So I get really tense when I'm in a room full of people. And I had a dream a couple days before that meeting happened, where I was interviewing Dallas for something, and Cody came in and offered me a grilled cheese. And Dallas yelled, "That's not gluten-free, bro," and gave him a diamond cutter, then sat down and kept talking like nothing happened. And I got so flustered by the amount of people in that tiny room that I sat there and told Cody that story. and it was so embarrassing. And he was a doll. He was a precious gem through that whole
Oh,
thing.
Cody is awesome in person. He really
he was
is.
like, I can kind of see that happening because I don't go by that gluten-free stuff like he does. And I have to, by the way, because I'm gluten intolerant. But so that's where the grilled cheese story comes from.
Okay. Appreciate the background.
Yes, I hope to meet Cody again one day and not have that happen, and we can erase it, Men in Black style. But yeah, I just think it has to be Cody, and my story that I think is going to happen, maybe, or I wish it would happen this way. You have Solo Sikoa over here doing nothing for WrestleMania, right? He's not in a match. He's not involved in any way. And his ego is, hurt from his loss to Cody on Raw, right?
Yep.
And Roman was fussing at Solo Sikoa after the camera stopped rolling, if you go back and look at fan footage.
Yep.
And he wants to prove himself, and he wants to maybe help Roman win. But you have like a father figure in the family, either Sika or Rikishi be standing there, maybe Rikishi because that's Solo's dad, and being like, no, Roman says he's the tribal chief. Roman says he's the head of the table. Let him handle his own business. Solo Sikoa does not go out there to help Roman. Roman loses to Cody.
I could see Solo inadvertently
way out there, but it's cool. So
I could see Solo inadvertently costing.
Roman. That's a good idea too.
Yeah. So I had mentioned earlier, I talked about, because we were talking about a certain someone, and I think we were talking about the tag team title match and stuff. And I had mentioned that if Cody wins, this person I could see making a comeback and being Cody's first challenger. And you have so much backstory you can talk about that. Do not be surprised if Cody wins, that we see his first challenger to be a certain, Marie was doing some interesting motions there with her arms and stuff, but we could see the return of a certain Viper to congratulate Cody in his only way.
The Raw after Mania.
The Raw after Mania.
Oh, big.
Randy
that
Orton
would be
congratulates
big.
Cody in a way only he knows how to do, and it can be spelled out with 3 simple letters: RKO. That's what I think. Cody wins. I think Randy Orton is his first challenger, and he can play into the story of the legacy.
Yeah, yes. I love it. I love it.
I'm so ready for Randy to be back. I have missed him so much.
Me too.
He was okay when he was younger, but to me, I think this is the best Randy Orton that we've ever seen. Him coming into his maturity and everything, and him just, I don't know, putting his demons aside, theoretically, I guess you would say, but him just becoming more mature and, blossoming before our very eyes. I love this Randy Orton.
Randy is like a fine wine. He gets better with age.
Yes.
He is genuinely a good guy. He's not perfect, but he is genuinely a good guy. I would love this for Randy. He could still go. I think he's the most consistent, well-rounded wrestler in WWE.
I agree with that.
Yeah, and I would be. Yeah, I would be 100% down with that. Even if Roman lost and I had my tail between my legs, that would definitely be a great consolation prize. I'll say that.
All right, a few comments before we get off of here. Corey says, Usos dropped the titles like you guys said earlier, Bloodline with no chips. And Shane says, Cody wins and pulls a Medusa. Cody drops the WWE title and the light goes out, and when they come back on, Cody is wearing the AEW title. That is silly.
I saw this earlier and I was waiting for you to get to that. Hold on.
That don't make no sense.
No.
Whatever he's having.
Shane. We love you, Shane. But
Yeah.
no, I think he's trying to lure the fight me button out of me. He likes to do that. So
Okay. I got you.
if that's the case, I'll give it to
Fight
him.
me! Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Don't fight me!
We don't want that to happen.
No. All love.
All right. Go ahead.
I was just saying all love here.
Yes, yes. Well, DDJ, we have absolutely had a great time talking
I have
WrestleMania.
too.
It's been so fun. Open invitation for you to come back anytime you want. And if you
Definitely.
don't mind, plug and tell our audience where to find you.
All right. Well, first off, ladies, thank you very much for having me on your show. I had just as much fun with you two as you seem to have had with me. Um, I am on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. Just you can look for me, Dennis Day Jr. I'm on Twitter at Dennis W Day Jr. I am one of 4 hosts of the Shoot and Shit podcast. We are 4 guys who get together, usually record on Thursdays, put our episodes out on Fridays. We talk about things that have happened in the previous week of wrestling. We just recently announced some partnerships with online prediction leagues. We announced a partnership recently with one of the hottest independent promotions in the Chicago area, Chicagoland Championship Wrestling. You can actually find our show on YouTube at youtube.com slash this at symbol SHOOTINGSHT. We also have a store on prowrestlingtees.com. You can get your official Shoot and Shit shirt at prowrestlingtees.com slash SHOOTINSHT. And if you're not a part of our Facebook group, you can go to facebook.com, just type in Shoot and Shit, SHOOTINSHT, because they probably wouldn't let us actually type the word shit. So you can find us on Facebook. On there, we're very engaging with our listeners that we like to call shooters. We post a question of the week and we read some of their answers on the air, and we like to get the takes of our listeners. We're actually getting ready to debut a whole new look for the show this week. We just unveiled our new logo. We're gonna have a new logo. We got new theme music. We got new overlay, new everything. It's gonna be a completely new look to the show, and we're excited to debut this week. And we will probably be talking about WrestleMania. So a lot of the things I said here, I will probably be saying there as well too.
Well, thank you so much for coming and sharing your
Sure.
perspective. Alora, is there anything else that we need to talk about that you know of?
Not that I know of, but Mina says hi and happy WrestleMania week.
Yes, and I have my 2 shows on Wednesdays. TRWC Tailgate Party. I preview AEW's Dynamite, so I'll be there tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. I will not be doing a tailgate on Friday because I'm doing a special watch along for Ring of Honor Supercard and SmackDown at the same time. So come
Ooh.
join me for that, and come cheer for Eddie Kingston for our new Ring of Honor World Champion.
Eddie.
So excited about that. Thank you guys for joining us, and you all have a good night. Bye. Good night, sweet peach. It's time to go.